something happened a couple of nights ago that cinched the whole process for me. And I realized, yep, I have a conclusion. Before we get to the winner, let's see all the contestants again. Keep in mind, my JOAT is going to be different than your JOAT. We all have different lives and tasks and things that we do and things that we want to expect from a knife that we're carrying all the time in a non-EDC environment. Remember, the JOAT's not an EDC, like my Swiss Army knife and my Benchmade 940 and my Izula 1 that I've turned into an Izula 2 with the extended handles and the S35 VN blade. The general criteria for a JOAT should be, what do you do when you're outside and you're going to be outside for a long time and all these different tasks? And let's say you do want to come inside and prepare yourself a little bit of lunch, you know, that sort of thing. Do you want to have to be bouncing between knives? No. And that's what this whole thing is about. So don't take this as gospel that because it's my JOAT, it's going to be yours. First up is my ESEE 4 in S35 VN. Now, one of the things you can do to your JOAT to make it more JOATable is modify it. So yes, this one has been modified. First thing I did was sharpen the spine. You can see that it throws nail. The other modification that you can see is the fact that I have changed out the handle scales. If you buy an S35 VN version of the 4, it's going to come with a greenish micarta scale. That's not even really green, it's tan. I just never warmed up to it. I like the black with the red liner, so I swapped those out. Then I purchased extended handles so that it would have more of a choppiness to it. I just never warmed up to them. They're a good quality handle. I got the G10 version. Took them back off and put the black ones back on, but I added a little bit of additional red liner. Just makes it a little fatter in my hand. I don't have the biggest hands in the world. I wear a large to extra large glove. I know some of you actually have baseball mitts for hands, so maybe this would not even be an option. It was still enough hardware to go from side to side and meet and pull everything together and still be secure with just the addition of that little bit of red liner. In the sheath that I modify, of course, and I put a small tech lock on because I like to carry it that way. The other thing that I do to these is I always take that top rivet out on that side. I don't need the knife to be so damn secure that I got to really tug at it to get it out of the sheath. This is perfectly fine the way it is, and it was secure prior to putting in the additional little bit of width on those liners. So that just makes it easier in and out. Puts the sheath at a good height on my belt, kind of conceals it. This is not street legal where I live. I wanted to also have a dangler. So I used pieces and parts from other stuff and made a dangler, wet formed the sheath, as you can see. Oh, that's perfect. So when you're sitting on a tractor a lot, that can just get the heck out of the way and you can go merrily about your business, climbing on and off, piece of cake, walking through the woods, very comfortable. I just like this combination. I'm very pleased with it. The next knife is just, I don't know. I really fell in love with this knife. It's just, wow. So unexpected to really, really love this knife. The UP Bravo. Matte finish, black micarta, hollow tubes, no liners, UP blade. A2 steel. It came, of course, in a complete piece of garbage sheath. So I'm using an old sheath. This might even be from Battle Horse or Blind Horse, or I forget when I got this, but I've had it for a long time. Made a fresh loop for it. Fits like a glove. Modifications that I did to this knife: sharpened the spine a little bit, just from about there down, for whatever reason. Now, I mean, honestly, guys, you know I am horrible at bushcraft. I cannot light a fire to save my life. So that is why I carry a propane torch when I go in the woods. It's just not my thing. Maybe the Irish just can't do that. Here we go. Modifications done to this knife. I rounded these surfaces. They came in a little sharp. That's it. Makes a great chopper. In this sheath, it is a respectable combination. Next up is this guy. Now, this is the Joker Lynx. I bought the black-handled version and the orange G10 version. I say G10 because it really looks like G10. Some sites say micarta, some sites say G10. I've had one of their number 10 field knives in G10, and it's slightly different. So I'm still on the fence. I'm going to say G10. Let somebody at Joker contact me and say, nah, it's actually micarta. This is a lot of knife for the money. I misspoke once before. It actually has Bowler N695. I think I called it N690. My apologies. N695. My only real beef with Joker, and this is not really a big deal, but that's a freaking billboard. I don't know that you need all that. Other than that, there's a lot of design features and thought that went into this. Probably the most comfortable jimping I've ever had on a knife. I love how that handle is scalloped down, cut down, whatever you want to call it, for access to that. It's just a neat touch. Slightly extended butt with that same sort of jimping. Neat design element. What did I do to modify this knife? Couple of things. Sharpened from there to there, and then I really convexed the edge to give it a lot more sliciness for bushcraft, that sort of thing. And in the kitchen, it is a good slicer now. Good blade length, everything about it I really like. This is the original sheath and how it came. This loop makes this really hang low on your belt. That's a consideration for me. I like things a little bit higher just because I spend a lot of time in a tractor seat and getting in and out of my truck. Something dangling down this low is kind of a encumbrance. How many things do you need dangling to get in the way of you getting in and out of your pickup truck? Really? No. So I thought, I really don't need a fire steel because, again, I suck at using a fire steel. But bucket o' sheaths, and I have this. I do not know what Joker came in here, but it is perfect. No need for the fire steel. Nice little dangler. Love it. Great setup. Need be. You got snaps. Take it on and off. Brass hardware. So that's what this rides in now. And I do consider that a modification. Whenever you swap out sheaths, that sort of thing, that's a mod. But for the money, even in this sheath, you're going to have a hard time finding a nicer knife. Oh yeah, one other little mod. I chamfered the insides of these holes. Just makes your paracord last longer. Did not put the paracord on this one yet, but I shall. If you think back to a few videos ago, the F1 was the knife that I thought was going to be in the running for JOAT. Nope, too small. Almost put myself in the hospital trying to chop through a piece of wood. Way too small. A lot of you recommended a particular knife. I bought one. It never arrived, so I started looking for another one, and I found it. And this is the Master Hunter from Cold Steel, made in Italy. That was the first time I'd ever seen one of those, and I thought, is that for real? Yep. New in the box. Perfect. After a little research, you can see that Cold Steel is made in a slew of countries, none of which the United States anymore. The Carbon V Master Hunters used to be made in California. This being made in Italy, I thought, you know what? Why not? That's pretty cool. It arrived and I was amazed. The next day, the original one that I had ordered also arrived. So it was fun to compare the two. The blade stock on the Italian version, slightly thicker than the Taiwan version. However, when you get down to the edge thickness, the Taiwan version is beefy and thick, and if you were going to want this to be a real slicer, you'd have to work that edge down. I don't know if the Italian factory, I don't know what factory it is, could be Mileto. I'm not sure if that's pronounced correctly. They're the ones that make Lion Steel. It looks like the quality of those knives. It has a screaming edge, super thin. Both are 3V, full flat grind. I thought, my God, even the tumbled finish is better on the Italian one. The rubber handle, nicer on the Italian one. On the Taiwanese one, even through the tumbled finish, you can see the grind lines. You know, just kind of a hobo job. This, very refined. You can't find a single grind line. The plunge lines, perfectly even, nicely finished. Whereas this has a nice curve to the grind. This is basically straight up. Little side note, the stuff that I do when I'm using a knife like this, and I'm making spoons, and I'm making walking sticks, and I'm shaving varnish off of an axe handle, that sort of thing is really rough on an edge. 3V, when properly heat treated, shouldn't even flinch. The 3V on the Taiwanese version kept rolling the edge. The Italian version didn't even flinch or dull. Now, that's the logo for the Italian version. This is pre-buyout by GSM or whoever the hell it was. This is a newer version. The sheath, identical. Identical piece of crap. Here's the sheath. This is supposed to go in and seat itself. Won't even go in all the way. Sits on top of the nubs. I would be hard-pressed to get that in there and feel comfortable shaking it a little bit and not having it fall out and cut my pants. I just don't trust it. Not a good sheath. So, the modification for the Master Hunter to continue to be in the running was either make a leather sheath for it, a dangler, that sort of thing, or Kydex. Like a glove, perfect, large tech lock. Love this combination. I have to admit, I did a good job on this sheath. The hard part was making it so that this molded craton rubber handle would easily go in there, stay pinched in there, be secure, but not destroy itself every time I put the knife in or take the knife out. Took a few tries, got it right. The mods to this knife, other than a proper sheath, sharpen the spine, yeah. But again, only from there to there. Remember, this is in no particular order, so when I say last but not least, I mean it, is the Gerber Strongarm. Now, here's the original Gerber Strongarm that I had. It's been in a few videos with all the different modifications that I did to it. Nice convex edge. Never even sharpened the spine. Because, again, I suck at fire steels. But I love this knife. You are never going to break this knife. It will always be reliable. Can't say enough good stuff about it. The bad thing about it, again, the sheath, they have this amazing knife and they pair it up with, for me, a useless sheath. For someone in the military, it has all the bells and whistles, molly, all kinds of stuff. You are going to find a comfortable way to carry this knife in this sheath if you are in the military, which is what this knife is designed for. I modify it to make it more useful for me, not for you, me. That being said, I thought, you know, I really would like to have the Strongarm be in the running for JOAT, but that can't be it because it has the black coating. And really, when you compare it to S35VN, A2, 3V, even the N695, you just, it's not fair. So I sucked it up and I bought a MagnaCut Strongarm. I really took my time and I very precisely did the same exact modifications to this knife, especially the edge, because for whatever reason, these Gerbers come in pretty fat. Military, I get it, prying, whatever. It's not slicey dicey. For me, it needs to have a convex, slicey edge. But I took my time, really modded the hell out of the handle so that it was identical to the black one. And then, because I didn't want to have to do it again, I just used the sheath that I made, modded, whatever you want to call it, for the old Strongarm for this one. And now we have a great combination. The only thing I didn't do to this knife was round off the skull crusher / whatever you want to call it, because it just wasn't necessary. I think in the tumbling finish operation of this blade, it kind of softened that up enough for me that it didn't hurt my little hand. If you're thinking about a Gerber Strongarm, MagnaCut, or even the other version, something you might want to take into consideration if you're going to be using it for bushcraft and that sort of thing is when you get it out of the box, you're going to be missing about that much edge all the way to the handle because of this style of grind. I like it. It looks nice. But if they could figure out a way to make that all happen this much further back, what a nice thing that would be. Because you're losing 3/4 of an inch of blade to that grind. So when I modify these, I move that edge back about 1/8 of an inch or more. I have the tools to be able to do it, so I do it. Convex the hell out of this edge. This is my 4th Strongarm, and I will say the tip of the Strongarm is kind of a crapshoot as far as the thickness of it. I modified the spine on there. Throws a spark. On a good note for Gerber, I have noticed over the years, they like to make things really hard. And I don't mean difficult hard, I mean hard. Their ATS 34, look at this. Just happened to be carrying that today. You would think that this steel is a super duper steel. It's ATS 34. But they heat treat it in such a way that it's so freaking hard. I mean, they hold an edge. So their MagnaCut, they do the same thing. This is really hard and holds an edge. Thick, missing some stuff there, you know, but holds an edge. So now I'm pretty excited to tell you which knife came out on top, won, and is going to be my JOAT for 2026. Drum roll, please. Whee! Why? Why did this knife win? And what was the task that put it over the top and just made it so that I went, this is it. This is the knife. This is the one. It's freaking amazing. The task that it excelled at, and I know that this is going to sound kind of stupid to some of you, but this is the kind of stuff that I do and brings me joy and makes me happy, and I have fun with it. We were having a prime rib roast for Christmas. What knife did I use to carve it? Well, I used all of these. And the one that made the best slices, like it was on one of those $1,000 cutting wheel deli slicers, was this knife. This full flat grind down to a thin edge, 3V, screaming sharp. Just no flat spots, just a perfect constant curve. Made that rib roast slice beautifully. And then when we had it cold the next day for sandwiches, and then the next day for sandwiches, this knife kept outperforming all the others. It is just a slicing machine. From here to here is a perfect taper. I read in a lot of forums that there's something about this blade shape and this curve, whether intentional or unintentional, I don't know, is just magical. And it really, really is. Now, Lynn Thompson's out there, I have to admit. But I don't know if he designed this or was in on the design or whatever, but it has been around for a long, long time. I had an American Carbon V version. I couldn't ever come to terms with really liking the knife. Part of it was the sheath. So when you guys kept suggesting Master Hunter, and I bought another one, and then I saw this one from Italy, I thought, you know what? Maybe this is a diamond in the rough. So, yep, it is. What else does this do other than carve a rib roast beautifully? Well, it's lighter than every other knife. With this tang hidden in there, that's a lot of steel that you're not hauling around all the time. Also, this full flat grind takes away a lot of steel, but there's still enough there to make it so that it will chop, and it will chop. I was out there cutting low branches that like to normally take my head off when I'm mowing with this, and it was zinging right through them. A joy to chop with. The way this handle is shaped, you two finger this thing, and you can chop all day long. This handle never gets uncomfortable. It has a palm swell to it. Now, some of you were saying in the other videos, in the comments, if you baton and you destroy this handle, you are screwed. Yeah, I guess you are. Maybe you could send it to Cold Steel and they would repair it. I personally would make a different handle for it because I'm not getting rid of this knife. I could make a wooden handle for it, whatever. But I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to baton the butt because there's not an exposed butt there. And if I'm batoning, I got a pretty good aim. I'm not going to be hitting the handle. But that's not what I do a lot of anyway. I carry a knife so that I have something with me to do all the different things that I want to do. My little jack of all trades. Very light. What came in second? I have to admit, the Gerber Strongarm, because again, I like that handle. That curves down. It's very choppy, has some weight to the blade, but unfortunately, it's the saber grind that really, really, really hurt this knife. So that's why that didn't make it. The Bark River, I love the UP. I love that blade shape. I love A2. It's just a little bit too much knife to be carrying around. The thing that hurt the SE4, not choppy. I do a lot more chopping. I like the full flat grind. I like the S35 VN, the way they heat treat it. The Joker, it's such a nice knife. And if you can't find an Italian-made Master Hunter, this would really be a nice knife. You can chop with it. It's got that nice handle shape. Fills the palm nicely. Stainless. Holds a good edge. I like it. The only thing that might deter you from having a Cold Steel Master Hunter is that sheath, but you can get aftermarket plastic bender guys to make a sheath for you. Get a leather sheath. Modify the sheath that comes with it. Don't let that be the thing that keeps you from owning a knife like this. I can scrape all day long with this. I can cut. It does thin slices. It does feather sticks. Like I said, it chops through stuff. I can baton with it. I can pry with it a little bit. I don't know that I would go crazy on the prying for a couple of reasons. One, this is rare. Again, that's why I buy stuff off of eBay, because I can see exactly what I'm getting. If you're not that particular about your Master Hunter, get one off of Amazon. Get one from a stock photo. It's going to be from Taiwan. It's still going to be a nice knife. It's just not going to be as refined as this. And the heat treat might not be as spot on. This is ridiculous. This thing refuses to get dull. What am I going to do with the knives that didn't win? That is a great question. I'm going to box them up, tuck them away for a while, and see how much time goes by with me just using this one knife as my JOAT, and see if I hearken back or think, God, I really miss that SE4 or any of the others. But I can see myself going, I really miss that SE4 because it's really a nice knife. The nice thing about the SE4, if you were thinking that would be your JOAT, is its availability and consistency of manufacture. Yes, I modified the sheath, but I didn't have to make a sheath. And you don't have to modify the sheath. I just choose to. As it comes, it is a great package. I just like to tweak things. If I was to break that prying on something, I'm an idiot. I'll buy another one and I'll get the same exact thing. If I was to be prying with this, I'm still an idiot if I was to break it, but I would be so hard pressed to find another one identical. You see, that's the thing. I'm going to use it just the way I use everything else and use the right tool for the right job. A year from now, if the only thing I'm doing is carrying my Swiss Army knife around, my 940, and that, along with my EDC belt knife, I'll be a happy guy. The whole reason for this JOAT thing is to start simplifying life. Hopefully, if you're thinking about trying to find a jack of all trades, this gives you some ideas as to what to avoid, what to look for, that sort of thing. There are a lot out there to choose from. There's actually too many choices. It is a fine Italian high performance cutting machine. Love it. Project over. See you on the next one. Thanks for watching.